What if I unmute that and mute this? Do you hear anything now? What, nothing on Facebook or what? Hey, if you guys are in the
If you
chat,
guys
let
can
us
hear us on
know.
Facebook, let us
Yeah.
know because I'm not getting anything now.
We're
I
getting
had
audio. Yeah, can I get it? I just turn my phone up.
okay.
On Facebook or what? Hey, if you guys are in the there you go. See, I'm getting it from my phone. So we're getting some audio.
All right. Well, maybe you are. My phone's not. All right.
What's up, Savaka? Thanks for checking in for us tonight. He says Facebook sounds good, so
Mike says we're good to go. So if Mike says we're good to go, we're good to go. Thanks, Mike. I
all
don't know what
right.
to tell you. Thanks, Mike.
Hey, we're good. We're good then.
All right, let's go.
Well, there's a few technical difficulties. We'll work those out. All right, y'all. Hello and welcome everyone to season 5 of the Gaining Fast in Memphis podcast, a place where we connect melodies and memories. I'm your host, Aaron Shriver.
And I'm your co-host, Jillian Shriver.
Our mission tonight is I rewrote this, so I didn't.
So you didn't fumble and you fumbled.
Our mission tonight is to provide a platform for motivated singer-songwriters, passionate fans, or someone who's making a difference in and around the music community. We hope everyone listening leaves inspired with a positive outlook on life and begins connecting their own melodies with memories. Backwards, but hey, we worked it out. So we are presented by our good friends over at Arlo Revolution, cinematic wedding films, music videos, and promos. Find them at arlorevolution.com. One tree planted for every 1,000 downloads of the show. We plant a tree with one tree planted. Download the show today on your favorite podcast app. And then last but not least, Pod Decks. Pod Decks are the hottest tool to get your next great interview, unique interview questions in the palm of your hand. Our two on-screen sponsors tonight are On a Higher Wire by Joel, original and custom artwork inspired by your life moments, treasured photos, and memories. And Corey Oliphant and the Original Church Choir. Each week, I'm honored to have Corey and the OC as a sponsor. We do thank all of our sponsors for continued support and growth of the show. If you enjoy listening, if you're looking for ways to support us or sponsor us, check out that Patreon. We'll be launching a whole new Patreon in January. We cannot wait for that. And then just anywhere you find the show, if you just like, review, subscribe for us, share it, just help us grow anywhere. It's really appreciated. Can't wait to see what 2022 brings. Definitely things we're working on, good things coming soon. So, yeah. You're smiling. You all right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got good audio over there? You okay?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. She walked in like, what, 10 minutes before the show tonight?
I am so flustered. It's not even funny.
Life of being a nurse. But hey, all right, y'all. Tonight we welcome in singer-songwriter Tyler Braden. The Alabama native means business in Nashville. And with his last single, the former firefighter is turning up the heat. I'm honored to discuss the melodies and memories that made up his journey. So we're going to go ahead and welcome Tyler on. Oh, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
How's it going? Y'all doing all right?
Oh, we're doing great, man. We are so excited to have you on tonight. Longtime fan. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the 50 Egg family. And then the day that they brought you on, guys, I was excited as hell, man, to see where this is going to go.
Man. I appreciate that.
So I've been watching Singleton since early on, man, and you're definitely in good hands with that guy. But dude, what you bring to the table, dude, the songwriting, the singing, everything, and then your background, dude, of the firefighting. I'm just gonna start off and lay it out on the line. I had another Hendersonville firefighter currently and songwriter, singer, Hunter Thomas Mouse on a couple weeks ago. I shared this story with him. But in 1969, before I ever was born, my mom was in a house fire, and she lost her mom, brother, and sister when their Christmas tree caught on fire. Ever since then, dude, I've had a love for firefighters because they saved my mom that day. She has to jump out a third-story window. And the things you do and the things you've done and put yourself in, I appreciate the hell out of it. And this for the time that you spent, I think, 7 or 8 years on the department or everything. Dude, thank you for the service you gave and what you did for being a firefighter. Because honestly,
I appreciate that. That means a lot.
So, but thank you.
Thank you.
So I just want to start off by that, but I know it's on a somber note, but thank you so much. We'll get into more on that, but we're going to throw it all the way back to your earliest music memory, dude. What was your parents listening to? What do you remember just kind of growing up in the house, and what kind of music? I know you come from a very rich family, man. Your uncle was an Elvis impersonator or something like that, dude.
Music rich, I think. My parents and aunts and uncles on both sides and everyone have sang my entire life. Actually have, I don't know if this counts as a memory because I just remember it from videos. But when I was very little, my parents would they would do private parties, and my uncle and all that at family functions and friend things and local bars and things like that. And I've been going since I was very small, and I've got videos of me playing a guitar that's probably 18 inches long, and I'm just strumming along, pretending to play and sing. I've been told multiple times that as I was about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years old, and I learned that I could get paid to sing a song. My mom told me I would ask her friends, like, how much will you give me to sing Don't Take the Girl by Tim McGraw? Ask them, so I think those are the earliest ones for sure.
That is awesome, dude. Do you remember your first concert? I heard a little thing when it was, but tell me about your first concert experience.
My first concert was at a festival in Montgomery called Jubilee City Fest. They don't really do it anymore. And I just mostly remember the Goo Goo Dolls. So at every show, I always ask the crowd, if they remember their first show. If it's a small enough show, I'll ask people in the front row, who it was. And because everybody seems to remember their first show. And I always point out that Bruce Springsteen once said that as an artist, you should play every single show like it is someone's first show they've ever been to or someone's last show they'll ever get to go to. So we try to do that, and we pay tribute to my first show, the Goo Goo Dolls, by playing our version of their song Iris. And I want to say that festival also had Collective Soul was there that day, I believe, and some other smaller rock acts. But yeah, so I always go back to the Goo Goo Dolls.
Dude, that's awesome. Cool. Yeah, I definitely heard that. And I'm a long time. Was born in '82, so coming up in the '90s, dude. I was a teenager when the Goo Goo Dolls hit. Oh man, dude.
Right.
I got lost in all that music. I mean, Name was one of the best songs ever. But
oh yeah,
I got to work a show there a couple years ago, and this was just awesome to see the whole thing again.
Love it.
So you kind of ventured off. I mean, you kind of was brought up with a lot of country, and of course the Elvis and the rock a little bit. But you ventured off, man. Of course, I was seeing the Goo Goo Dolls. You probably got a little itch and wanted to be a little bit of a rocker. You started a rock band, dude. Tell me a little bit about the days of being a rocker and what influenced that.
Yeah, so that kind of started. I went and hung out with some friends that I knew in grade school and I hadn't seen in really years. And I went and hung out with those guys right after graduating high school. And they had their own band, and I didn't know anything about it. I just went with some other friends, and they were having their rehearsal in his living room. A buddy of mine named Dustin, and I kind of started doing that more often, going over and just jamming with those guys until eventually I started being the singer, and we slowly started doing, flatbed trailer shows and some small bars around the area and just doing these 3-4 hour long rock cover shows where we're doing a little heavier than the Goo Goo Dolls. We were doing like Breaking Benjamin and 3 Days Grace and stuff like that. And I did that off and on for, I don't know, 3 to 5 years, something in there. And I'm still really close with all the guys I was in that band with. And they still keep real close in touch with me here in the country world, living up in Nashville. They all live in Slap Out, Alabama, where I'm from. But yeah, man, that was kind of my first live music. Besides singing in church a little as a teenager, but my first actual live shows were in the rock cover bands.
I love that, man. Just seeing, because you could see that when I saw you. I've only seen you once. It was acoustic. It was one of the writers rounds you did with Race Rowdy earlier this year. And
okay.
I think the 58 takeover, actually. Speak of the devil. I think it was the 58 takeover they all did. But you could just see just your presence, your stage presence. Like, you want to rock. Like, you're ready to go, dude. I love that. Like, and I think, like, especially now, we'll get to the tour you're on now, but I think that fits your genre and the way your fan base perfect, dude. Like, just God, I wish y'all were coming to Chicago with that tour. You two together, man. I bet you're just badass. But like I said,
been great. It's been really fun for sure.
Yeah, dude, man, that's crazy, man. So coming up in high school in Alabama, I saw you got to play when you started playing on your own. You were playing Zydeco and everything like that. Those are some of my favorite bars. I lived down in Corinth, Mississippi for about 5-6 years. Okay. And your song Secret, dude. Like, every time I hear that song, I'm like, dude, that takes me right back to Mississippi, those small towns, and just love that. But tell me some good stories about maybe playing Zydeco or playing those small bars coming up really before you moved to Nashville.
Man, it's kind of cool. I pointed this out recently that I've gotten to play Zydeco kind of at every level. Like, I've played the downstairs bar stage acoustic, and then I've played that stage full band, and then I went upstairs and I've played acoustic opening for guys, and then full band opening for guys, and now we've headlined at full band. I've played on the front like porch thing as part of a festival where I was just acoustic there. So I've played Zydeco in a lot of different forms and fashions, and so that's been awesome. And one thing I like about going to Zydeco is kind of cool. I went to UAB for a year there in Birmingham. So I kind of get to take the band to places like And when you go out of town, you go to all these different towns, you don't know where to eat, and you got to ask locals, and it's kind of cool knowing where to go. Like I always take them to this little place there called Owls. That's it was open 24 hours a day. I think it's open like 22 hours a day for some. I guess you got to have a break. I don't know, but it's pretty cool, man. I love going back there, and we played a lot of places, around Montgomery. A bar called Rock Bottom. I don't know if you've ever been there in Montgomery, but it closed down, let's say 5 years ago or so, but I played there a lot. I actually played there with Luke Combs when he was first coming up and touring the small clubs. So, I mean, it's been fun, man.
The only time I've ever been in Montgomery, I think I've told this story before. You slept through Montgomery, but we were coming up. We were at the Wharf Amphitheater, and we were coming back from an Eric Church concert. We were I forgot where I think we flew out of Birmingham. We were going from the Wharf to Birmingham. But we were driving through Montgomery or somewhere, and I'm like, dude, this is where Hank's buried. We gotta go see the grave. And it's like 2:00 in the morning, dude. She's in the back seat sleeping. My buddy and I are up front. We get off the exit or whatever, and we're looking for him. All of a sudden, we see this guy run down the street with a gun, just pop, 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 pop. We're like, yeah, we took off. Look, we saw these cops run out of Waffle House, jump in their cars, go flying. I look at my buddy and said, let's get the hell out of here. We never saw the grave, and about an hour later, we pulled over, and she woke up. We're like, hey, you'll never guess what you missed tonight.
Yeah, it's as bad as it is, that kind of doesn't surprise me. Of course it does, the odds of it happening while you're there. But I worked for that fire department as well in Montgomery, so I've seen the kind of the rougher sides of that town.
Yeah, but it was probably an odd, just one-off thing that we ran into. But I think we drove past because the front of the graveyard was by the cop shop. So I'm like, if the gate's open, we'll go in. But if it's not open, we're not going to go in because I get in trouble tonight. So. But it was cool. But one of these days, I want to get back and see all that. But, dude, I love Birmingham, the whole area, Zydeco. I had Trey Lewis on last week, and we talked a little bit about Sloss's Furnace because I loved going there and doing some haunted house stuff there. That was always – they used to do rock concerts there. Did you ever get a chance to see it?
I remember the concerts there. I actually never got to go. We planned it all the time, but there was a lot of times where we thought we could just go up there last minute, and we'd get up there already 10, 11 o'clock at night, and the line's just a mile long, and we just hang out in Birmingham and go home. But we tried a couple times, but I've actually never been through it.
And that's where Workplay is there too, right?
Workplay Theater, yeah.
So I used to always go see Church back in the day, and we saw him at Workplay, Zydeco, a lot of those old school like just bars. I just fall in love with those places, man. Especially Zydeco because of the 3 levels. It reminded me of a place you played here in Milwaukee. We're outside Milwaukee, but the Rave Eagles Ballroom. So another cool.
I've been asked a couple times my favorite venues, and one of them's always the Rave. There, we played with Gary Allen.
Oh, dude,
it's a cool venue.
Yeah. We were just there with Jelly Roll last week. What did you think about the Rave when you played it? I mean, what makes it one of your favorites?
Man, it's just I think it's just the feel of it, and just when you walk inside and seeing that dome for the first time. The acoustics are odd. It's definitely an odd sounding room, but it's really cool. And obviously, about the pool downstairs, all that stuff. And we learned about the hotel across the street.
The Ambassador.
And as soon as I learned about that, we were probably about an hour outside of town. I booked a room there as soon as I could. So we could stay at the hotel. Yeah. I loved it there.
Oh, yeah, I love.
He's always wanted to stay, and I'm like, we are not staying there.
Yeah, I run around old buildings every now and then. I have an act for that stuff. I love history, but dude, that pool and everything about it is just it's creepy as hell, but it's a cool venue.
Yeah, it's great.
Did you get to play in the pool at all? I know a lot of people do like acoustic videos down there.
We didn't play down there. Went in there for a while and checked it out a bunch, but we didn't do any. It's actually kind of crazy that you said that because you don't see it, a whole lot when you're on Instagram and stuff like that. But in the last week or so, I feel like I've seen like 4 or 5 guys do acapella stuff in the pool.
Well, we were actually a cool thing was we got locked inside the pool last week with John Langston. And he was recording. He did his little recording, and I saw that video. Yeah, and I'm like, dude,
just sounds cool because when it's empty and you've got the echo and the acoustics, it's just kind of a cool.
I hear him do it in person though. I was like, dude, they always talk about being a fly on the wall, and that was my fly on the wall moment. So
that's awesome.
Well, dude, you finally we talked a little bit about you being a firefighter, and that's kind of what drove you to Nashville in a way because that was your connection, your key. You saw some testing fire departments. You was it Brentwood you went for?
Yeah. It's funny. He doesn't know this that I know of, but Charlie Muncaster of Muscadine Bloodline told me, he's like, man, you got to be closer to Nashville. And I didn't even know if I really wanted to try music full time or anything like that as a career. But I figured, just so I still had the option, I would try to get closer to Tennessee. And I Googled Tennessee firefighting jobs at the fire station in Montgomery. And it was probably 4 to 6 weeks. I had tested and gotten the job and moved to Brentwood, because this was in June of 2016. And they said that there were 4 spots available for July, and I was 5th in line. And so there was a spot open in the following January. So I was kind of bummed, 6 months and all that. But he calls me back, the assistant chief at the time, and calls me back a few days later and says, man, we just had a spot open up, and was asking me to come within like a week and a half so I could kind of start at the same time as the other new people. And we made it happen. And I went from getting a phone call in the fire station to living and working in Tennessee about 10 days later. So.
Jeez,
wow, that's
dude.
fast.
Yeah.
Good for you, though. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. I mean, definitely to jump into it. I mean, because you had to. I mean, you had a guy already telling you got to get here, and he knew you had something. When did you start writing in the mix of all this? Were you writing in the rock band, or when did you start writing really songwriting?
We wrote a couple with the rock band, maybe 3 or 4 songs, nothing crazy, and we'd always had these little ideas. But the first time I ever went to Nashville, I'd won this little recording session opportunity with a small contest in Alabama. And it was like in a guy's basement in Nashville. Now it sounds weird, but it was a really, really nice studio in his basement.
Yeah.
He actually did
Talking about the hotel across from the range to a guy's basement, man. This is crazy.
He did audio for like NBC commercials and stuff. Like when it's like, you ever watch the commercial where it's like Thursday night at 7, there's the sitcom, and then Thursday night at 8, there's the drama. So the musical change as it talks about the next show. Well, he made that music, and that's why he had this really nice studio. And so I got to come up here and record a little bit, and I had nothing to record. So I probably wrote 4, 5, 6 songs or something. And a couple of those I've put out since then. Little Red Wine and Leave Me Alone, Secret. I wrote all those in preparation to come do that recording session. And that was probably 3 or 4 months before I ended up moving to Nashville. So that's when I really first started writing. And then the co-writing came maybe 6 months to a year after moving to town.
You remember the first one you ever wrote?
Yeah.
Well, do you still play it, or is it kind of buried?
Which one's that?
You remember the first song you ever wrote? Do you still play
the first
it
song
out,
I ever.
yeah.
I misunderstood you. I do vaguely remember the first song I ever wrote, which was right before the rock thing, and I probably wouldn't remember a third of it lyrically, but I do vaguely remember the very first song.
Nice. I always ask everybody, because you always remember a little bit about the first song you ever wrote, and just kind of what got it going, the first idea and
right
everything else. I'm definitely a fan. Like I mentioned earlier, huge Singleton fan, so I love the songwriting. And when I first started hearing your songwriting, I was like, damn, dude. And I was just blown away, because
I appreciate it.
I love how people paint pictures and like just paint pictures with songs and tell the story. And I mean, yeah, of course, a lot of songs can repeat the same crap over and over, but the songs that tell a story from beginning to end in 3 minutes or whatever are what stands out to me. And dude, What Do They Know is one of my huge favorites. I still remember the day we moved. I mean, we did come back eventually, but the day we moved to Mississippi, I had this book that all my family was signing, and my uncle wrote in there, "You'll be back." And I was like, this asshole, like he doesn't even count on me. He's counting me out already. It's like, dude, just like say something that like positive or whatever. And so when I hear that song, it's like, dude, it's like, yeah, it's like, what do they know? It's like, I'm going to go out and be me and do me. And that's what I love about music like that, dude. It's really positive and speaks from the heart, man. Definitely love that. Let's see, where do I want to go with this? You were looking at your area to say something, you know? You're like getting on the edge of your seat. But when did you really get hooked up with 50 Egg, or how did that work out for you? I mean, because you got 50 Egg before Warner, or was it vice versa?
It was before. I mean, I'd already been kind of talking to both around the same time, but for about a year, maybe before I got my publishing deal, I'd been to some meetings off and on with some different publishers and just kind of getting my first co-write. So I wasn't, I was just kind of getting to know the different publishers in town. And around March of 2019, I was getting my first offer from a publisher in town. And I started getting 2 or 3 and then 4. And I actually told my management that I'd really love to talk to 50 Egg just because I saw what they were doing on social media and I loved it. And I was lucky enough that they agreed to just have dinner and come meet, because Jonathan had mentioned he wanted to write, and we didn't know if we had time because I had these offers and I didn't want to turn them all down and then not have any offers. And it was kind of a weird, really quick thing, a quick turn of events there. But they agreed to just have dinner and talk. And I sent them the last song or two I'd written like that week, and including one of them was Better Off. That's on the EP now. Yeah. I'd written the day before the first time I ever met with 50 Egg with Jason Nix. And I had dinner with Tally and Jonathan and my management, and it just kind of went really well. We hung out for a few hours, and I sent them these songs, and within a day or so, we just kind of had an offer building and went from there. And I signed June or July, I think maybe July 1st of 2019.
Dude, congrats on that, and badass this story, just how it all went. How did you first get introduced to Jonathan? Like, did you get to hear one of his songs, or what was it like?
I mean, I just kind of knew him from like 50 Egg social media, and obviously I'd heard of him as a songwriter, and I knew what he'd written just because some of them were some of my favorites early on, like Guy Walks Into a Bar, and Watching Airplay, and some of his earlier big songs I really loved. And so that was really cool. So I was kind of nervous when we first, I mean, I hope he doesn't see this now. No, I was nervous to know him personally now, but yeah, so it was him and Tally Canterbury that owns it and runs the whole show there that I met with. And I mean, they were just great from the get-go, and they were super supportive from the very start. So it's been great.
You have to get Jonathan to tell you about those old school days when you used to open up for Eric Church, man. I'm gonna tell you,
I've heard about a lot of them. Yeah,
I got to see a lot of those shows. I'm trying to get those guys back together for one more show eventually. But dude, they used to play some bad. They played a lot of those Alabama venues too. But man, that dude had it going. I know he tested the waters for a while and then jumped off and wanted to do this 58 thing now. But dude, he was one hell of a performer too. So, I noticed something when I was researching that you're not a big drinker and you just don't drink. Was it a personal choice? Was there a reason, or just decided never to do it? I know for myself, I quit 2 years ago. I just hit 2 years yesterday, I think it was. And I mean, I had to, just kind of like who I became when I was drinking, but it was really interesting, especially for like an artist that sings about it too.
Right. I mean, it's funny you say, not liking who you are when you drink. I don't really remember at this point as to why I never did in the first place, but I think one of the big reasons was not knowing how I would act, and I didn't like the idea of something else kind of controlling how I acted. And at the time, when I was young, I wouldn't drink coffee. I didn't take medicine. I wouldn't do anything just because I didn't know, how it would affect me. I guess I was just nervous. I don't really know, and just never had, the peer pressure or anything that convinced me to do it. And I joke that now that I've gone this long, and my mom likes to tell people that I've never really drank, that I just want to keep that streak alive. That's the main, so I say that's the main reason now. And I'll try stuff from time to time. Like just yesterday, the guys had like some local beers here in Montana. We're in Bozeman right now, but I think we're in Missoula last night. And so I tried one that they had, but I've just never really cared to. And now I drink a lot of coffee now for sure. But that's the only one I caved on.
Yeah, I'm going to say being on the road and everything. So you are currently out with Brantley Gilbert on the Worst Country Song Tour. Dude, how's that going for you? I know you guys just got, a couple more dates left of the year? Yeah,
we just got a couple more. Man, it's been so awesome this is our first experience, all of us as a band and as a crew, to go out. And we've done the weekends where you go home. This is our first time staying gone for 3 or 4 weeks on end. And I mean, it's been great. It's exciting to see new places like this. Like I said, we're in Bozeman now, and they're next door. I'm in a Holiday Inn right now, but they're next door, just trying this local bar, and I'll go over there when we're done. And it's just been cool to hang out in little towns we've never been to, and then obviously play in the arenas to these huge crowds, and getting to know Brantley's fan base and getting to know Brantley and his crew this year. Even before the arenas, we played a lot of amphitheater shows with them this year, and it's been great. A couple years ago, we played the Brantley Gilbert's Kicking in the Ship cruise. And then I've played an acoustic kind of VIP thing he did for his fans, which was a trail ride. So we've got to see kind of every side of his fan base, and they're so great. And we've just loved every minute of it. Last night, or night before last anyways, might have been our favorite so far, just because Tacoma Dome in Washington is so huge. I joked that I'd never played a venue where they parked the 18-wheelers inside backstage.
Yeah.
That is awesome, dude. How's the fan? I mean, are they singing songs back? Are they knowing the words? Yeah, they have.
Yeah, I mean, when the crowds are this big, it's not to the point where I can hear it overbearing. Kind of when they're singing Brantley songs. I mean, but just to be honest, but looking out there, I see more and more faces every night just singing the words. I'll catch people and point at them, and it's just cool to find the people that know every song. And then especially when you go back and we do Leave Me Alone or Little Red Wine that's been out a while, you can always find the people that kind of just dawns on and be like, oh, I hadn't heard this song in a while. I know this guy. And so that's been really cool. And it's just getting, like I said, it's getting more and more. And we sold out a headlining show in California the first weekend when Brantley went and did a festival. And so that was really cool. It's the second time we've headlined California, and we've sold out both shows. We've got some coming up in Omaha, Nebraska, and Columbia, Missouri. Our last 2 nights of the year are going to be headlining stuff. We've got some good ticket sales going on in Omaha. And then North Dakota and South Dakota this weekend will be our last arena shows with Brantley. So we're super excited.
Yeah, we got to get you back to that Midwest, man. Get you up to Chicago. Actually, I did hear, doing some research, that you kind of have a moment in Chicago that was a little not life-changing, but a little eye-waking, I guess. Your first time missing being a firefighter, I heard, was in Chicago. Tell me a little bit about that. Like, just kind of like, did the truck just go by, or like, what were you doing?
It was weird. I was there by myself, and I couldn't really sleep, so I was down on the street at like 2 a.m, which I probably shouldn't have been because I don't know anything about the town.
Depends on where you played and where you were.
I was gonna say, it just depends on where the hotel is.
I know I was right beside the water. I was really close to the water. But
you're probably okay then.
Might be a body
I just heard the truck, and I was like, oh, I wonder where they're going. And I guess it being middle of the night and that same kind of feeling when I heard the truck, that was kind of the first time where I was like, dang, I'll never do that again. You know, just wondering what they were going to, knowing that it was probably nothing. It was probably a why are you calling 911 kind of thing, like most of them are, but knowing it also could have been something really big that was on the news the next day. But just knowing that it could have been anything, and just knowing that I'll never do that again was really weird feeling. And that was the first time that I experienced that. And by the way, let me know if you hear this AC really loud. It just kicked on.
Oh yeah, you're all good. You'll be fine.
Okay.
We have our kids running around upstairs, so we're liable to hear like some crying or fighting or something.
It's always when we hear the big loud thud, and we're like, oh shit.
We wait to hear, is somebody gonna start crying? Okay, we're good. They are supervised, by the way, just in case anyone is curious. They are supervised.
I heard that story.
I wasn't gonna ask.
Yeah, right. I heard that story about when you were in Chicago, and just it was kind of cool, but just like putting 2 and 2 together, just like hearing that fire truck and just missing it one more time and everything. But you still put on the suit. I see that every now and then. You just had recently a charity firefighter golf tournament. Tell me a little bit about that, man, and kind of like what you do, what you raise money for.
Man, that was fun. Real cool full circle moment, because it was a golf course in Brentwood, Tennessee, and I've actually been on a lot of medical calls and suppression calls in the neighborhood. And it's a really nice gated neighborhood with a really nice golf course. And to be able to go back and actually do an event there and feel support from the neighborhood and from the community was great. Brentwood Fire had a couple teams, and they had the trucks come by, and the chief was there. And it was great. And we donated the proceeds to National Fallen Firefighter Foundation and Hungry Heroes. Hungry Heroes is great. They go to like any disasters around the country, like when the condos collapsed in Miami. I believe it was in Miami or Orlando.
Yeah, Miami.
Miami. Yeah. They showed up there and fed everyone working on the scene. And so they just came and spent the whole prior day at one of Brentwood's stations right across from the golf course, cooking all this food. And they supplied the lunch and dinner to everyone that played and everyone that worked the tournament. And we had a writers round afterwards that a lot of my friends came and played, and Whiskey Jam hosted out of Nashville. And so it was a really cool event. It was a phenomenal day, and I can't wait to do it again next year.
Yeah,
it sounds like a cool event.
I show pictures throughout. I don't know if you able to see them or not, but I actually have a picture of you golfing in a firefighter or jacket.
Yeah,
dude,
I
don't know how you did that.
Yeah, one of the holes that was just kind of the gimmick for everyone had to put on the jacket and try to hit this par 3, and it was interesting to see just how people are that have never had the jacket on, because I got to hit with some guys that are great golfers, and I would show up and just kind of hit with different teams. And I met with a team on that hole, and I was the only one to get anywhere close to the hole. And I was like, maybe it's because I've worn the coat before, and I don't know, but they were all much better golfers than I am. So just gonna call it luck.
Man. Well, before we move on to our sponsored section of the night, I did see finally researching that your favorite movie is Shawshank Redemption, dude. I love that, and We just went by the prison it was filmed in probably 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I'm like I was saying, I'm a huge Eric Church fan, and here's where he filmed the music video for some of it. So I'm trying to work on something early next year or whatever. I might put on a concert there. So if I do, I might reach out, dude, and have you play inside the prison one time.
That would be awesome. I would love that.
But I figured when I saw that, I was like, dude, because
what's the prison called again?
It's Mansfield Reformatory in Ohio.
It's beautiful. It's gorgeous.
They do concerts there, but I really want to do. I'm kind of spilling the beans, so I know a lot of the Eric Church's fan club watches, but there's a local band called Chief. They're a tribute band. They're one to play there, but I wanted to get like a headliner to come and play. But I wanted to do like a tour of the prison. Maybe at night do a little paranormal thing, like a little ghost hunt at night.
Yeah, I'd learned. I knew it was in Ohio. I didn't know the name of the prison, but I actually learned it. Y'all being podcasters, y'all appreciate. There's a podcast called The Rewatchables. I don't know if y'all have heard of that, but they just do these episode. Each episode's on a different movie, and the Shawshank episode's like 2.5 hours long, just talking about the history and the shooting and the different actors that were almost in it and the different scenes. And it's really cool podcast, and I learned that on there as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, very cool.
That's really cool, man. Yeah. I've heard about that podcast.
It's a good movie.
Check it out. Yeah,
it's a good movie.
So yeah, I'll have to reach out though. But the place looked amazing, looked beautiful. I'm sure the acoustics inside are just God.
It'd be a cool event for sure.
I love it. All right, we're gonna move on to our Powered by Pod Deck section of the night. I pulled 2 cards earlier, and the first one was, what was the first band T-shirt you felt super cool about wearing?
Oh gosh, first one. I mean, I'll be honest. I didn't wear a whole lot of band T-shirts because I didn't want to be a poser, I guess. I don't know.
I never wore band T-shirts.
I mean, I had Goo Goo Dolls shirt. That may not be the first one. Matchbox 20 might have been the first one.
There you go.
That would probably be the very first that I just knew was cool. I think I even had an Eminem shirt a long time ago. But
I had a Goo Goo Dolls shirt. I think I still have it somewhere.
You don't have an Eminem shirt though, do you?
I think I do. And I'm calling you out because you said you never wore band shirts. I have a picture somewhere of you in rollerblades and a Billy Ray Cyrus shirt. So
yeah, that's right. I think I was like 7.
That's awesome.
Look at that. She's right.
I forgot all about that. Oh God.
Yeah, I could definitely share that, you know.
Okay, moving on. Question number 2.
All right, man. What future promise have you made yourself? Have you made anything down the road of kind of your future self made a promise that you're going to do something or see something or whatever?
Man, I'm not a huge, and which I know this is kind of the opposite of everyone in this industry, but I try not to make like these crazy goals, and it's kind of just one day at a time, one song at a time, just and go with the flow because everything can change at the drop of a dime. But man, the biggest thing that I've always, promised myself is that what maintains the most important thing is to kind of just be happy. You don't have to, we don't have to be entertainer of the year. We don't have to sell out arenas. Anyone who says that's not the ultimate goal is kind of lying. I think so, because I mean, of course, in the back of your mind, that's what you want to do. But I think the biggest thing, is just make sure that I keep the people that are good to me around me. And my fiance, my best friends, my band are all my closest friends. And it's awesome. I'm almost getting emotional because it's our first time on the road, but just keeping those guys close and just, that's the biggest thing to me is, the ones that support you and the ones that are there from day one is just always keep them around and they'll keep you around.
Mm-hmm.
I love that, man. Definitely something to stay true to. And I love that you said you're getting emotional because, lately it's been like that because to get out and be on the road again and get out of this crazy world that we've been living in the last year and a half, 2 years. And it's cool to see you guys out there touring and still out there doing it, man.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about John Langston, so you probably know JD, his tour manager. Yeah. JD just posted the other day about just never taking the road for granted again because you'll get out there and be tired of it and want to go home, want to take a weekend off, and just I doubt anybody's gonna feel that way for a really long time.
Definitely, man. We just took a very long road trip with a family trip. We went out to New Hampshire and everything else. And I'm like, we gotta do this like every year. We just gotta do a long road trip and just enjoy it and just while we can. While we're here to do it. So
for sure.
All right, our next segment we're gonna play like maybe 6-7 second clips of 4 different songs. The first memory you have with this song, just spit it out. The first one's gonna be a pretty easy one. I think we've already talked about it a little bit. I had to pick Iris Goo Goo Dolls. So when you hear this song, does it take you back to that first concert, or does it take you back to another moment in your life?
It probably takes me back to like the days when I first started in that rock band and the year I went to UAB, because there's always one thing I remember. I don't know if y'all remember listening. Like, I don't listen to music off of like the actual iTunes app anymore. I don't know if anybody does that anymore, but it used to list how many times you played each song. And if you could sort it by that, and Iris was way more than any other song. And that's just kind of the first thing I think when I hear that is the listening to music off of iTunes in like 2007, 2008. And that's what I think of.
That's funny because when he says
on
that,
your iPod,
when he says that, mine comes up as that A-OK song by Neil McCoy, because it was the very first song on the entire playlist. And every single time,
right.
remember, every time we got in the car, it
would kick on.
it would start with like a whistle. But I don't know the intro, but it was like a whistle. And every single time we get in the car, it would whistle at us.
That's awesome.
It was crazy. I think these things are loading the full songs too.
They are. They very much are.
I just now noticed that like they're playing I have like 6 or 7 second clips, and for some reason it's not playing the clips.
That's okay.
So
we got another
one. Sing them to me. Just sing me a line.
You do not. You do not want.
I got kicked out of a karaoke bar.
We will leave that to you, my friend.
My catchphrase: kicked out of a karaoke bar.
Sad, right?
Go ahead and play that next one.
I can play this one though. Oh.
Not gonna play?
Not while the other one's uploading. That's okay. We can.
All right.
We can do our hot seat while that one's loading.
Yeah, we'll come back to those memories. Let's do the hot seat. We'll do that. So we're gonna do 10 quick questions, 60 seconds. First thing that comes to your mind, spit it out.
Okay.
All right. First vinyl you ever purchased?
Band Camino. Actually, I didn't have vinyls growing up, and we got them for the house during COVID.
Okay, yeah.
All right, there we go. Your one song you wish you wrote.
Oh, we've talked about it today, so maybe a guy walks into a bar. I mean, it just flows so well, and it's such a clever song. There are plenty of them, but that's the first one that comes to mind.
Dude, when I first heard that song, I swear to God, I was singing it down.
Men That Drive Me Places by Ben Rector is a really big one, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
It's a good one.
Yeah, Tyler Braden nailed that song. I love it. All right, number 3. Who has the best pizza you ever had?
I gotta say Sheila's Pizza and Slap Out. It's probably not the best I've ever had, but it just evokes this emotion when I go home and eat it. So that's my favorite to have.
Yeah. All right. The strangest thing you've ever seen in the middle of the road?
It's not the middle of the road, but I swear we just pulled up to this hotel, and when we stepped off the bus, there were 2 moose hooves in the grass. I swear about this much at the bottom of their leg, which is really weird and creepy. We thought it was a witchcraft thing, but they're outside right now as we speak.
That's cool.
Oh, boy.
That's cool.
Oh, that's crazy, man. What was the first car you ever owned?
First car was a Ford Explorer Sport Track.
Dude, nice. What's one thing people buy that you feel is a waste of money?
Oh, gosh. You can't take money with you, so nothing's a waste of money to me. I don't know.
What is your favorite holiday?
Christmas. I'll say Christmas.
Oh, yeah, man. All right. What did you want to be when you were a kid?
I think I wanted to be an architect was the first thing that I ever thought that's what I wanted to do.
All right. What's your favorite microwavable food?
You shouldn't microwave them probably, but my fiance kind of got me into it, so I'll say pizza rolls.
All right.
They're not as good in the microwave, but they're quick.
I love it.
We're just about everybody says Hot Pockets.
Yeah, we're gonna
just
see. We're
about
gonna go
everybody
for Hot Pockets again.
says Hot Pockets. So
I love that, but that's
close. Mini Hot Pockets.
Mini Hot Pockets. That's true.
And we're gonna come back to this last one. I want to go back to those memories before we do that very last one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and play that next song. We're gonna go back to the memories real quick. So when you hear that, record year, Eric Church.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if this is the first memory of it, but that was one of the first when I was in Nashville and really doing country and trying to put the full band together. I'd never had full bands in country music yet. That was one of the first covers that I wanted to do. Either that or Outsider I really wanted to do because I like the rock feel live. And record year, again, it's just like Guy Walks into a bar. It's so clever. Like, you hear that and you're like, how have I not thought of that? You know,
Yeah.
it seems so obvious yet not at the same time. And it's just, I mean, such a well-written song. And it's one of my covers on YouTube, I believe, is Record Year.
That's where I pull a couple of these songs from.
Okay, yeah.
We covers. I'm like, all right, he'll definitely know these ones, everything else. I think the next one is, and then the next one was just kind of like whatever.
Okay.
But I was when I was sharing this earlier, I said that if I was gonna pick an artist that was kind of coming up right now that was following Eric Church's footsteps in a way of songwriting, dude, you nailed it. Because like you're writing songs that are out there that people aren't really talking about, like Secret. You're just talking about all the small town secrets, everything. You're not talking about them, but you're saying they're there, and you're bringing it to attention and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that about you, man. I like the way your songwriting is. 'Cause I see that a lot. I see that a lot of those influences.
I appreciate it. That might be the coolest compliment I've gotten in a long time.
No, I was talking about that
it's
earlier.
True. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it's true.
Because I mean, I can't tell you how often you go into a writing room or just a writing session, and they're like, "Man, I'm trying to do that Eric Church thing with this line. Kind of thought this idea." And a buddy of mine told me about a month ago. He said I went into a write, and someone said, "I'm trying to get that Tyler Braden garage." And I was like, "Hey, my name was used as like an
yes.
I'm like, that's really cool.
That's awesome.
That's
dude.
awesome. Very cool.
Yeah, I've been following Church for a while, dude, and that's all the stuff behind me is all Eric Church stuff. That's actually his hummingbird that he gave me on my 100th show, my 100th concert. He called me up and gave me this hummingbird, which blew my mind, dude.
Wow, that's
like,
awesome.
No one gives away a Gibson, you know. I just couldn't believe it, but definitely, dude. I see a lot of that writing style in your writing, dude. I love that about you.
Appreciate it.
All right, that song ain't going well. Let's go to that third one. Go ahead, play that next one. I don't even know if you're gonna have this one because I think it starts too late in the song. All right, I'll put them in later.
That's okay.
The third one was "Apologize" by One Republic, dude. I've seen you done that one. So when you hear that song, what comes to mind?
Believe it or not, in the rock bands 10 years ago or so, we used to do like a punk goes rock or something.
Yeah,
pop goes punk or something like that. Yeah, we used to do that. My guitarist would do like the screaming in it, and there's a video somewhere on Facebook that we actually tried to look it up in the last week or so out on the road, and I couldn't find it. But there's a video somewhere of us doing "Apologize." I think Silverstein might have been the band that did the other version.
Oh, I've heard the punk. I used to love those Punkos pop records.
Yeah,
man, so many of those. "Apologize" was huge on that, so that's cool. The Taylor Swift ones are always fun too.
yeah. Our Last Night, I think, did some Taylor Swift.
Yeah, there we go. All right. And all right, the last one was "Only God Knows Why," Kid Rock. When you hear that song, dude, where does that take you back to?
This is kind of an unbelievable coincidence, but I told you that right after high school, I went to hang out with my buddy, and they had that little thing where they're rehearsing in their living room, and it was the first time I ever sang with them. And that was the first time that I ever kind of started in that group before we did the rock bands. The first song I ever sang with them the first night I went over there was "Only God Knows Why."
Dude, I love it. I love that.
What a coincidence.
I just love that. Yeah, it's a hell of a good song. I could see you rocking that one, dude. A lot of truth behind that song. So for sure. Dude, thank you so much for spending the last hour of your time with us tonight.
Absolutely. Really thank y'all, man. This is great.
I know there's a badass bar right next door you were getting ready to go check out and everything.
Go drink some Diet Coke.
Diet Coke and coffee.
Yeah, I don't drink either, so I'm very much
yep.
Sober friend.
So we hope that you get close to Chicago and Milwaukee soon, man.
And me too.
See a show. But dude, I wish you nothing but the best, man. I know 2022 is gonna be huge for you, man, and I can't wait to see where you're gonna go, dude. Just amazing things, and thank you for the songs you bring to the table already. And I'm just excited to see what comes next out of you, dude.
I appreciate it. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much. You have a good night.
Have a good one, buddy.
Bye.
Talk later. Man, that was a good one, guys. I had a blast. What do you think?
It was great. I feel bad we were a little off my tech issue this morning, or this little. Yeah, otherwise, we did pretty good.
You threw a pen at
me. I did throw. Actually, that was unintentionally. If I was throwing it at you, I would have hit you. I dropped it.
Close, but I didn't know. Man.
No, he's so great. He's so nice and down to earth, and I'm happy that he is so close to his crew and his band, and that they get to be together. That's cool.
Yeah, from the time
it makes it worth it.
I was hooked.
Mm-hmm. Being able to do something you love and then do it with the people that you care about is is amazing. So
he has a good family with 50 egg. He has just a good head on him. I mean, the whole firefighting aspect of everything too, just what he brought to the table with that. And dude, like I said, I'm any firefighter out there. I mean, shout out to Matt Hardy out there. I know he's busting ass. Greg Spencer, there's buddies of mine that I know out there that are just out there doing some amazing things, man. I definitely have a soft spot for firefighters. I always have, always will. You know, we still have a firefighter or fire truck bed that my kids sleep in. Not here, at my parents' house.
Yep, I sure do.
So growing up, I had fire truck stuff everywhere. My parents' neighbor gave me an old helmet, just tons of stuff. Just always had, always had love for firefighters and everything about them. So, oh well. So, what's going on this week? We got anything else crazy in this world?
Yeah, my littlest is gonna be 5. Oh, we're not
3
ready.
days away.
I said my littlest, but our littlest.
Yeah, Avery's birthday's
5.
Thursday.
His birthday's Thursday. Birthday party is Saturday, potentially.
Probably be on hold.
Man, everybody around us is sick. So
it's
we're
crazy. You guys be careful out there. Be good.
Stay safe.
Stay safe for sure. It's crazy things and yeah, man.
But yeah, I'm excited. Avery's super excited. We're having a Clifford birthday. If for those of you that are still on, we're rambling. But yeah, Avery wanted a Clifford birthday party, so we're excited.
It doesn't matter who's watching now. It's a matter who's listening later.
Yeah,
streaming later now. Yeah. So we got the birthday party Thursday, and then Sunday I got another buddy celebrating a 40th birthday. We're getting old, y'all. I'm telling you.
40. Wow.
So yeah, I'm telling you.
I need to find a younger man.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I got audio of that now. I got audio of that.
I'm just as old as you are, so it's okay.
I'm telling you.
I have just as many gray hair as you do too.
No, I got a couple years on you. I like having that TV behind you now. I can look over there, like when I'm doing these shows, and like I'm looking at you, but really I'm looking at the TV.
Oh, you're not staring at me?
Oh, right. You know I am. I stare deep in those eyes. All right, well.
Thank you guys for hanging in there with us tonight and joining us every week. It was a good show.
Well, this was a lot of fun. Let's see, I was just trying to think, who we got next week? We got Break. Well, next Monday we have Break, and we have Eric Dillon coming on, which has to be a really fun one. Finalizing some more coming up. Cannot wait for some of these ones we've been working on. But
do we not have a show before Christmas?
From between now and Christmas Day, we have one more on the 21st.
Oh, okay.
And the one after that was the 27th.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, Merry Christmas for those of you who are
I contacted our bottle guest today. So every year, you guys know, in January, I do a special episode where I'll pick somebody and we'll call them Fan of the Year. We'll give them a bottle of Jack Daniels that's engraved. It's just something fun that I do. And I contacted the guy who I'm going to have on the show today. I cannot wait. Big Ray Fulcher fan, so it's going to be really cool. Maybe I'll see if I can get ready to do something cool for him.
Oh, for sure. I bet he'd do a little video or something.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what we can do.
Text him.
All right, y'all. Well, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Another amazing episode. Episode 112 with Tyler Braden. I've been excited for this show for a long time, and it didn't disappoint at all. If you haven't checked out Tyler Braden yet, what are you waiting for? Just seriously, log off right now. Go to iTunes, your iPod, circle back. No, that was like 10 years ago. Go to Spotify, wherever you get your music. Check out Tyler Braden. Check out this new EP. Guys, 2022 is going to be a huge year for him. He's been out with Brantley Gilbert. So just big things coming up for him. And I just can't wait. I want to wish him the best of luck with everything and wish him the best of 2022. So if you guys want to catch up on everything you missed, any past episodes or anything like that, go over to gainingfastonmemphis.com. Make sure you're following our socials, mainly our Instagram page. We're less than like 50 or so away from hitting 3,000, which is crazy. But dude, it's awesome. Thank you guys for
for your support. For those of you who are following,
help and grow the show. It's been awesome. So we'll see you guys next week. Another great show. We can't wait.
The Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver is brought to you by Arlo Revolution. As we close the book on another chapter, remember, music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Next week, Aaron connects more melodies and memories with other fans and the artists they love. Thanks for being a part of this musical journey, and we'll see you next time on the Gainin Fast on Memphis podcast with Aaron Shriver.